Welcome back. Yes, this is Vani with you, and welcome to UVW. Yes, this is another brand new episode of United Voice of Women. Well, you know, I keep saying this, that this woman who is the soul and the womb of this universe comes in all various shades of color. And on UVW's platform, what we really want to do is be able to host women of all color, from all communities, from all walks of life, and from all countries. It is all about coming together and being able to celebrate women. Yeah. UVW is an ode to women, a celebration of women, empowerment of women, and inspiration by and for women. Once again, this is Vani with you. Absolute pleasure having you all join me on another episode of United Voice of Women from the studios of ManaTV. Well, friends, today what I really wanted to talk to you about before I went in to introduce my guest here. Like, you know, every week we have a guest coming in here with us, and they are able to help us understand their experiences, their challenges, and their perspectives that could be really, really motivating and extremely inspiring. And sometimes you just have a smile on your face, and I guess that really works too. Okay, so today, like I said, before introducing my guest, I wanted to tell you a small story. I really found it so interesting. I watched it this morning. I was just browsing through something and came across this little topic, and I thought I'll share it with you guys. So this was about this first Indian woman physician. Okay, her name is Anandibhai Joshi. She graduated in 1886. And about 125 years later, Indian women started to outnumber men in admissions to medical colleges, and the trend continues to grow stronger by the year. Well, it's believed that over the last 5-10 years, India has produced over 4,500 more female doctors than male ones. Interesting, right? But what is even more interesting about Anandibhai Joshi is that she is the first Hindu Brahmin who received education abroad and obtained a medical degree. Okay, so she was somebody who, with the help of Philadelphia missionary, came to United States to receive an education in medicine, a decision made after some tragedy in her life, and she enrolled in the Women's Medical College of Pennsylvania. That time, the first hospital for women. Her thesis was titled Obstetrics Among Aryan Hindus. That is so awesome, and it is also so very relevant. Why I wanted to talk to you about this little story, and of course Anandibhai, is because the guests today that we have here in our studios are both from the medical field, okay? And they both belong to two different generations, and the whole idea was, how would it be to get perspectives from two beautiful women from the same industry but different generations? So I take the pleasure of introducing you to my guest here, Dr. Ranjitha Sen Gupta.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to our studios.
Thank you for having me here.
Pleasure. Well, friends, Dr. Ranjitha Sen Gupta, she is a invasive cardiologist from Bridgewater Cardiology Associates of Somerset County, Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. Thank you. And then we have another guest here with us, and this is Sushma Kulkarni. Welcome to our studio, Sushma.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Okay, now this little girl has, no, you don't want me calling you that. Okay, this young lady has just graduated in cell biology and neuroscience from Rutgers. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you feel being out of college and graduation and all that?
It's exciting. Still not done. I have a lot more ahead of me, so I don't really feel like I'm done studying, but it's definitely exciting that I'm done with this step.
Okay, did I get you right? Tell me something. You said that you've got so much more to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So let's hear a little about what is it that you want to do.
Okay, so like you said, I just finished my degree in cell biology and neuroscience. And from there, I'm going to be doing my master's at NYU in oral biology. And right now, this summer, I'm in the process of applying to dental schools. So following my master's degree, I'll be going to dental school, hopefully.
Wow. So, okay. So why did you get into the oral side of medicine?
Okay.
Is that how you say it? No. What do you say? Oral?
Dental field.
Dental field?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So first I wasn't sure. I just knew that I liked science. So coming into college, I just took biology classes, and then I decided my major would be cell biology and neuroscience because it kind of encapsulates everything. So then I'd have a little bit of experience in every field, and then that way I can decide what exactly I want to do. And then after that, I started shadowing at different places, and once I shadowed in an orthodontist's office, I realized that I really liked what they were doing, and I didn't mind doing that for the rest of my life. So from there, it was the next step was taking my DATs and then deciding what I would have to do next to apply to be an orthodontist.
That is so interesting. Sushma, I mean, at your age, I don't think I ever knew, deciding what I want to do and that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That is amazing. Okay, so you are an Indian kid born in New Zealand, right?
India.
You were born in India?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you went to?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. I think you were a months-old baby?
Very little, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to New Zealand and then you came to the US, right? Wonderful. I've got a lot more things to talk to you, but let's get talking with our doctor here. Well, Dr. Sen Gupta, I would like to know a little about you now. So you were born in India,
Yes.
brought up in India.
Yes. I was born and raised in Calcutta, India, and went to med school, University of Calcutta, and then I came here, did my residency, finished from University of Connecticut in internal medicine, and then I went down to Houston to do my cardiology fellowship at Baylor College of Medicine. And because of family reasons, then came back to New Jersey, New York area, and I've been in practice for 10 years as of July 1st of this year.
Wow,
I've been
congratulations.
Thank you. I've been with Cardiology Associates of Somerset County, and we do procedures and admit patients at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital. Wow. So again, I kind of hear what Sushma is going through, and she's 2 decades younger to me, but I think we all go through the same dilemma, and it's a process of evolution that guides you what is going to be your specialty field. Just before the show, we were chatting a little bit, and I was telling her that when I was I always wanted to be a CPA. My dad was a CPA, and when I was in 8th grade, we had the option of getting an extra elective. And my dad said, "Oh, you want to be a CPA? Why didn't you take economics?" Because the other choices were like logic and stuff like that. So he said, "Why don't you take economics and see how you like it?" So I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And then, I saw that, my interest towards science was growing. And as I went through high school, I saw that, like biology was something that I really, really enjoyed.
Which grade were you in then?
I think by end of 8th grade, by 9th grade, I kind of knew that I was going into medicine, because the way things work in India is in 10th grade you take a set of boards, and then things have changed a little bit now, but I'm talking about my times, which was in the early 90s. And at that time, you 11th and 12th is when you choose whether you were going to science, arts, or you're going to go into the financial world. So I chose science, and then in 12th grade we took the MCAT version of the exam in India. We call it the joint entrance exam. And at that time, there were not many private schools. It was all the public schools that we had. So the seats were very limited.
Correct.
Very few people got in. So I got in, and again, it was med school. So you're getting exposed to so many specialties. So which specialty are you going to do? You have to choose. You finish med school, and you can't just do everything. So again, going through med school, that also is a process of evolution. Like initially I wanted to do surgery. Then it became OBGYN. And then by the time I graduated, I finished med school, I knew I was going into medicine. And even at that time when I started off with medicine residency here, I was not really sure which specialty I'm going to do, or whether I'm going to just stop at internal medicine and be a primary care physician. And then with the very, very excellent support of my husband that I always talk to about, that he said, you know what, you have the potential, you should go for the max potential, because you can never go back and regret. And he said, I think you should do cardiology. So I don't know how he thought that I would do very well in cardiology, or why he chose that. I don't know his thoughts why he chose that, but I really enjoyed cardiology. You know, when I was going through my residency, and I really enjoyed the field. The physiology, the anatomy of cardiology was very, very fascinating to me.
So, quick question,
Yes.
because from your story so far, you were telling me that it was always you who made up your mind about what you wanted to do, right? So how did it happen that you actually thought what your husband said would be something that you want to give it a try?
Yeah, well, you know, he said that, and you know, it was, I don't know whether it was coincidence or it just so happened that I also liked cardiology, but you know, he definitely wanted me to go for a fellowship, and it so happened that he also said you should go for cardiology. To the very point that the way it works, that when you finish your residency, or it was in my second year of residency, you go for cardiology fellowship interviews, and then you have like a match list that you rank your the places that you want to go. And you know, I went for 13. I had 20 interviews. I went for 13, and then I stopped because it was just too much going around. And then I'm like, okay, now I have to rank it. Which one do I rank first? Which one do I rank at the bottom? So I said, why don't you rank it? So he did the ranking for me. Which ones should I prioritize? Which ones should be top? And then it was like match day when the results, it comes out that which place you're going. And I was at work, and he was like, I was saying, you know what, I'm not going to look. Why don't you look at the results and tell me where I'm at?
Wow.
So I got into the place that I wanted. So, you know, again, he's been very, very supportive all this while that I've been here. You know, parents always support their kids, but having a supportive husband is so important.
So
in your
true,
life.
so true.
So then I went down to Texas to do my fellowship. I had a 4-month-old baby at that time. My son Ryan was born in my third year of my residency. It was a challenge.
I can imagine.
My husband, when I was my second year of my fellowship, my husband went on to do his MBA at Yale full time. So I was in Texas with the baby, and he was in Yale for 2 years. So it was hard.
Very ambitious.
It was very hard. But you know what? Once we were done and we moved back in New Jersey together, at this point in our lives, you know, we've been through so much. Now, nothing is a problem for us, okay? If there is an issue, we're like, okay, what's the solution? Let's go for it. Yeah,
oh my God, you have a very interesting story.
Everybody has their stories.
They do, but this is very interesting. But I want to get into more details and specifics,
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
Because it was really, really nice though. But let's ask this girl here, okay? Yeah, so how did you know that you wanted to be a doctor at all? Or you want to get into medicine at all?
Yeah, so I mean, my high scores would be in science, so I thought, you know, if I'm doing better in this than other fields, then maybe like I should look more into it. The time that I actually decided for sure, because when you go to college, there's so much happening. You always have self-doubt. What do you want to do? Of course, you like a field, but is it for you? Like, are you meant to do it? So it's like every day you have that constant thing in your mind. Am I doing it? Is it right?
Here, just keep that thought there. So like she's telling me that she constantly has this thing to think about. That's what the kids of this generation seem to be doing it. Are you saying that you felt something similar as well?
obviously, when you're starting off in your career, which applies to any specialty, you don't
No,
really...
I'm not talking about specialty. Like when she's in school, okay,
Right.
and she's telling me that just because she was getting more marks, she was trying to understand and all. I don't know if I never thought about it, so I'm just wanting to know.
I
Did
think
you?
I had a big influence of my dad on me. That's why I said I wanted to be a CPA because he was a CPA. But there's a little bit more to the story. My dad always wanted to be a doctor, but he came from a very poor family, and I mean he was a self-made man. He made millions, and but he always wanted to be a doctor, but he didn't have the money to study. So we knew that story growing up. And that was always at the back of my mind that, even if I tell him that I don't want to go into CPA and I choose to become a doctor, I think he will not have any objection to it. Because, growing up, you always think about, what your parents will say. Are they happy with that? What your decision is? So when I said that I wanted to go into medicine, my dad was very, very supportive of that.
I'm sure he must be thrilled.
He was thrilled. He was absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, that's awesome. What I'm trying to compare here was, again, the thought process, So you had a different kind of a thought process, right? But the way these girls, this generation, kids are thinking about it in a very different way. Like they're very serious about looking, very clear about where they want to go and how they want to get there.
Right. And
you think so?
I think right now, what I see in kids growing up is they want lifestyle is a very important thing nowadays. And when I started my career, I don't think I was that geared towards lifestyle as I'm now. When I started off, I'm going to say, I'm going to just dedicate my life to this profession, do everything possible. But as you go through the years, you will realize that lifestyle also is important. And as a woman, it's very important to have a balanced lifestyle, because I say this to the younger generation, that what you will face is you have a full-time job, you leave that, and you come back home to another full-time job.
Correct.
So you will always be doing 2 full-time jobs, and balancing that is your job. Okay, so you got to find a balance. Nobody can teach you how to find a balance. You got to choose which way you would compromise to find that balance.
So true.
And I think that's what kids nowadays are going through it. Like, what kind of profession should I choose where I can have a good lifestyle, but I can also have a job and make good money and be a professional? So
Sushma, do you agree with what she's saying? Do you actually think in that way?
I think in some ways, yes.
Okay, that's exactly what we want to understand here. So tell me, what is it that you agree with and what you don't?
Yeah, so definitely like lifestyle is like a big thing that everyone considers.
So how would you define lifestyle?
I think that it depends on your stage of life.
Right now, what are you thinking?
I'm only 21, so I'm thinking like in this decade, more than thinking about that lifestyle, I'm thinking about education and personal growth, and just like learning more about different environments and just learning more about the world. So like when we were talking about what made me decide, so I didn't just want to see one perspective. Like I see in America how it's like to be a dentist or a doctor and like the lifestyle they have. But I also, one thing I really like to do is travel and kind of see in other worlds like what it would be like. So one of the things I did that made me definitely decide science for sure is two and a half years ago, I did a global brigades trip. So this is when you go to underdeveloped countries, you fundraise, you bring medicines, and then you shadow doctors there and you find out how the lifestyle is there. And then the difference is when you help people in America where you have health care, and then places like that where they can't even afford like a meal or water. So when I went there, I learned a lot from the doctors there and like what you can do. So I think definitely in earlier, like for the till like my mid-30s and stuff, I just want to focus on more helping the community and doing things like that. And then I think after that, I'll think about my life, my lifestyle, and like settling down and stuff.
That is a very, very elevated thinking, I would say. What do you say, doctor?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree. You know, she's in her 20s. That's when she should build up your career. And, you know, as life goes on, changes, when you get married, have kids, have a family, then different challenges. So different stages of your life, you know, you face different challenges, and it's always finding a balance.
Would you say that at her age you were thinking like this, that, or you were just going with your total focus on just wanting to study, right? I think you were.
I mean, at her age, when I was 21, my goal was just a career. You know, I'll be this single, successful woman in the top field of medicine, and just keep going, just keep on building your career. But you know, life changes. So, you know, when I finished med school, Dad said, it's time to get married. So,
I know.
So, you know, it so happened that I finished med school and got married within like a week, and I came here, and, you know, I just continued with my studies here. So, I wouldn't say that, you know, I stopped my career growth, but looking back, if I was doing it on my own, as a single woman, probably it would be a little bit different than when you are married, you are, you know, you have a family, then other responsibilities and obligations come in play.
Wow, absolutely do, no doubt about that.
Definitely.
So Sushma, would you say that this whole decision of whatever you want to do is totally your own?
Yeah.
Right? It was not coming from anywhere else in the family?
There are family pressures.
Pressures! Okay, let's talk about them. What pressures do you have?
Like, obviously your family wants the best for you, but then, you know, sometimes it's like, I would say, I think mainly the difference in me, even though I was born in India, I grew up in America, so it's like two completely different lifestyles, and with that being said, it's like, there's a way you want your children to grow, but then it's very difficult if you move to another country. Then they're experiencing different things and they want to grow in a different way. So I feel like what I learned here, which is sometimes it's hard for my family to understand, and of course it's kind of like a culture barrier, right? And I think being a first generation kid in America, I'm not just American or just Indian. It's like I'm trying to find the middle ground between two different countries and worlds.
You're still balancing.
Yeah.
That balance
But
comes
it's
in,
hard.
right?
Yeah, it's really hard.
There's a balance. You got to.
But look at you. I mean, at this age, being to talk about, you know, balance and stuff, and you understand the differences, etc. So do you want to share something with us, like, that would help us understand better? You know, this is all about wanting to inspire people out there, share our stories, our perspectives, so that people get a different kind of a perspective, because we all have a different perspective. And I feel that there's so much to learn from each other, from everybody around us. That's been my motto, you know, always. I'm a perfect example of that, because I was not really interested in anything, okay? I just always wanted to be happy, okay? My teachers didn't know what to do with me because I'm always so happy.
That's important.
I know.
You know?
I mean,
happiness is very important.
It is. It sure is. But my teachers were confused because I wouldn't really be interested in any subject whatsoever, right? And they're thinking, okay, so I'm doing all this, you know, all this extracurricular activities, you know, singing and dancing and debates, and you know, I'm getting them huge cups and medals and stuff for the schools and colleges. But I'm no good at, you know, especially school. I had no clue. I never connected with any subject, and I didn't even know why we go to school. But I was such a happy kid, so nobody even said anything to me, okay? I was everybody's favorite still. But what I'm trying to say here is that there's so much of difference in everybody. You know, every human being is so different. And what I learned, I'm not a person that I'm interested in news, okay? I never understood the idea of, why do you want to know the news around the world? Seriously, okay? But now that I've grown up, I'm actually thinking that I am right, because I feel, well, I won't say I'm right, let's say that I feel that I like what I thought and what I did now even better, because I didn't know why I did what I did earlier. But now I know that what I did is really good, because I feel that in this decade, this century, I'm seeing that people are so interested in everything around the world. Okay, world politics, world culture, world cuisines, and stocks and politics, and they're interested in everything. They want to be update. Okay, they want to be update on everything, but they just do not want to think about anything that is totally personal.
That's true.
I have a feeling, that why are people not really interested in talking about anything that is actually personal to your own self?
That's true. And
if you think about it.
Yeah, and then spend time on yourself and spending time on these news about politics or whatever,
Yeah, just a thought. That's my perspective. That I feel that it's so much more important to be able to understand who we are as a person, because only then you know how to be comfortable with yourself. And till you are, as long as you're working on it, you're good. But if you do not want to understand yourself, that means you're not even comfortable with yourself, and you are expecting people around you to be comfortable with you.
Right.
Okay, and you think that there are so many differences, with everybody around, and especially when it comes to marriage, etc. Things are not really working out as well as everybody would expect it to. And I think the major problem is that nobody wants to put any time on wanting to understand themselves, first of all, what they need.
And there's one very important thing that you said, Vani, is that you found happiness in what you do.
Yes.
And that is so important, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, because happiness is something that is that is yours, okay? So whatever you do should make you happy. I'll give you an example. Like when I started my career here, my son was 3, started a new job, and I wanted to, all energy, I'm going to give my everything here. And, I started my practice started growing very well. And then I was seeing that I was working more and more and more, coming late home, and my son was growing up. And then I had a couple of tragedies in my family. I lost my oldest sister, who was almost like a mom to me, from breast cancer. She was 14 years older than me, and she was only 50 when she passed away. And I don't think, got her full happiness. She was just finding her happiness, just finding things settling down for her, and finding that happiness that she was looking for.
You're too late.
But then she was gone. So when she passed away 5 years ago in 2012, that was a big change in me. I learned something from her, that happiness is important, and happiness should be there at every stage of your life. Don't wait. Don't wait to get happiness.
So true.
You should be happy in every stage of your life. So find that happiness now and grab it, okay? Because life is short. Enjoy it. So after she passed away, I changed my lifestyle, changed my work hours. My son was growing up. I said, what, it's not fair that I'm working, going after money. For what? I have only one son. I need to spend time with him. I changed my hours. I started going to work early, do my procedures early, see my patients, and then when he's home, I try to be home so that I'm spending some quality time with him. Because I don't know, when I turn 50, I may die too. I don't know, I may get into a car accident tomorrow and die.
We don't even want to wait till 50.
I don't know,
who knows?
Right? So how I tell everybody, and I tell this to my patients too, right? If I died today, I'm 42 years old.
Yes.
Whatever I've achieved at the age of 42, I want to be happy with that, and when I look back, and I can say that, no, you know what, I have no regrets. At the age of 42, I have no regrets to whatever I've achieved.
Fabulous.
I mean, I will miss, my son, my husband, my family, but up to the age of 42, you look back and you should not have any regrets.
That is fantastic.
And I think everyone, whether it's women, men, I say this to my patients, I'm sharing this with
Everybody out
viewers.
there. And let me tell you another important thing, that why I'm so interested in wanting to talk to women in and around my circle, family, friends, colleagues, everybody around me. What I can tell you that whatever I am today is all something I'm what I am because of my experiences with all these people around me, because I never went to the newspapers or the Google or the news, or I didn't go nowhere because I'm not interested. It's crazy, but I'm not interested. Okay, so I learned whatever I did, okay, from everybody around me, okay, and now I'm an entrepreneur, okay. I am into the leadership hiring in IT industry, doing exceptionally well, and this was not my plan. I never thought about careers.
You got interested in your happiness.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you did what made you
made
happy.
me happy. Yes, I was in the media. I did this. I was in, doing so many different things, and I evolved. And throughout my journey, the one thing was that whatever I learned was from people around me, and I thought that nothing could be a better teacher, because I find myself a very happy person. And and I think it's all about sharing that happiness with everybody around us, and that's what I want UVW to be. I know United Voice of Women was once how shall I say, perceived as something that could be a voice for, let's say, women welfare, etc. Okay, and we were talking more in terms of abuse and women that were actually in need of help, really seriously in need of help. But the way I want to perceive it, because that's the way I want to share, with everybody around me, my perception of this is that why wait till you want to get to a stage where you badly need help?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that is very bad, that people are there, and I don't know for now, right now, what I can really do to help them directly, maybe I don't know. But what I know is that I can definitely do what I can to help everybody out there, every woman out there, every girl out there, okay? That I can make them feel good about themselves every single day. I can help them want to feel so good about themselves that, once you have that self-worth for yourself, I think it is not really possible for anybody to push you down to that end.
Absolutely. Yep.
It won't happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I completely agree with you. Again, in those lines of happiness, I think we should all invest time in me. As women, we are always there for our husband, for our kids, for our mom, our dad, our sisters, our friends and family.
So true.
Sometimes we forget about ourselves.
Yes.
Okay?
Not sometimes. Most of the people
time,
seem to
right?
be doing
So
that.
we are taking care of our mom, dad, and in the medicine world, I see so many women are neglecting themselves, not taking care of themselves because they're so busy taking care of others. So what I tell them that you need to love yourself, take care of yourself, so that you are in good health and you're around to take care of your loved ones. Because if your health is not taken control of, or if you don't take care of your health, others will end up taking care of you.
So right.
But God made us in a way that we are made to be there for others, to take care of others. So you need to take care of yourself.
So important. And I
Right.
think
And
it all
invest-
starts with happiness.
Happiness,
In the mind.
Happiness in the mind.
When
Find
you're happy
something.
here, I think everything will work.
Absolutely, yeah. And talking about like women who are in abuse, this kind of situation where things are just not working right, you have to find a way either to become more strong and independent and grow yourself, so that whatever abuse is happening because of whatever situation they're in, you're able to overcome that. Women definitely need to be more independent. I'm a big advocate of women being independent, All right, they need to find something, do something. And in this world, you can even volunteer. You can go to a temple, you can go to a church, you can go to a library, because you know what? That'll be the way that you're kind of forgetting that abuse or whatever kind of negative impact is happening in your life. This going out will be a way of kind of overcoming this thing and bringing the happiness and empowerment in you. When
So
you meet
true.
people,
So true.
talk to people, it's a way of kind of overcoming it.
Just doing something for yourself can be
Something
so
for yourself.
gratifying.
Absolutely.
Now you tell me, Sushma.
And going
yeah.
off that, I think the good thing about this day and age, with like media like this, this show where you can see that women can do anything they want, it definitely helps empower them. And you can sit there and watch something like this and know that if you're in a bad situation, there's always a positive place that you can go to. So it's never like the end, or there's always somewhere you can go and be that's better.
That's awesome. Now tell me from your friends and your life, right? So do you people even think about the challenges that we had? I don't think so. Do you have on the personal front, what kind of challenges would you say girls your age possibly face? On your personal front, okay? It's not about your education or anything.
Okay.
I'm saying that, I don't know, at my age when I thought I was getting married, all I knew was, okay, I'll get married and it's happily ever after. But nobody ever knows any other story beyond it because nobody talks about it.
Right.
But today, I'm sure, like you said, with so much of knowledge on your fingertips, the world on your fingertips, you know it all, you girls, the way you're growing up. So how do you people perceive life?
I
Just
feel
tell me
like-
about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, since social media now is a huge thing, I see like 6-year-olds with iPhones now. So with that, it's a good and bad thing. Good because you have access to knowledge, but bad because now there's all these pressures of how you should be, how you should act, what is defined as pretty, what is not pretty.
Cool.
And
Being
yeah,
cool, right?
there's just so much, so many standards that now they can put on girls and just anyone. So I feel like growing up with being able to access the internet or a phone, there's all this that you can see that can be difficult. You can have struggles. It's definitely, you want to focus obviously just on your education and school, but it's hard to neglect other parts of, just your personal life. So yeah, there's definitely struggles with, I guess, your personal being, and it's hard.
You want to give an example so we'll understand better? Yeah, just generally.
I don't want to get like too into
You don't
sad
have to
details,
get
but
into. You don't have to
there's-
get into the details, but just give me an overall. So it's very important the way you look, the way you behave. All these things become very important.
Yeah, there's like your presence, everything. There's a lot of stress. I know there's so many cases now in people around my age in schools that just, there's like suicide rates, just everything just goes up higher because now this whole pressure is on a lot of young women around here, and just like, it just,
The way they look, the way they talk.
Yeah.
And
All these things
and
are
that
so
just
important.
adds more and more. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think here the big thing is like, you want in America, like how I see with my friends and people I see, it's like you need the whole package deal or people just don't like you. So it's like you can't just be good in one thing anymore and then think that will get you somewhere. Now it's like, what else can you bring? What else can you bring to the table? So it brings a lot of pressure in those places.
That's crazy. So when you say that, actually I lost it. Something important you said that I thought I want to.
what more do you bring to the table?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
lines,
Yes.
if you think, I don't think you guys face the difference in a boy and a girl that much. But coming from India, and still that thing is still there, that a male child is always more welcome than a female child. So I don't know whether you're aware of this. In India, you cannot get an ultrasound to know with the sex of the baby, because there's such a huge female infanticide, because a lot of the families, they don't want a female child, and the moms are made to go for an abortion. That's a big thing, and so it's illegal to know the sex of the baby. Here, So I'm the youngest of 4 daughters. So my parents have no son. And I'll give you a little example. The day I found out that I got into medicine, my dad had gone for the groceries. So one of my friends actually called me and said that, oh, you know, she's got it, that's a rag, this and that. And because it comes out very early in the morning, the results. So my dad came back and I just ran to him and I said, Dad, I got into medicine. And I remember he dropped his bags and he said, you're my son.
Wow.
And he started crying.
Oh my God.
I still have mixed feelings for it. You know,
what
it's a
you
very
mean.
emotional thing that, you know, he started crying. I know he wanted to be a doctor, and I'm the first girl in the family, extended family, going into medicine. And he said, you're my son. That's the first, and I still
remember.
Yeah,
and
I
I
still
saw your
remember
eyes
it.
misting up because I think you still don't understand.
It's mixed feelings,
Yes,
you know, like
yes.
why I mean, I understand that, you know, you're very happy. I'm very happy, but he said, you're my son. Yeah.
I tell
so
you.
so that's the difference. I feel that, you know, you're as a female child, as a girl, you're expected to do some basic education and maybe go for a job, and then you're expected to get married and start a family. Things are changing now in India.
Yeah, they
I
definitely
see a
are.
lot of changes for the better.
I
but
do,
I'm talking about my generation going
yes,
back.
our generation,
That's what we
absolutely.
faced when we were
Absolutely.
in our 20s, when you're 21,
Yes.
22, 23, 24, right?
Yeah, so what I want to understand from you, Sushma, is that these pressures come from home, basically, from your own friends, I guess, right?
From
So it's not
everywhere, yeah.
everyone, in the sense that people your age, you know, people our age wouldn't be wanting to come and discuss things like this, or we wouldn't even understand. So what I'm trying to get to here is that it's just your own world, right? Whether it's school or it's college, so it's
Right.
your classmates, your friends, you know, I think it's just among that generation as such that everybody expects too much. What is it? Because I really
think-
don't know.
I mean, of course, it's an issue, but I feel like with every generation, there's different issues that
yeah.
come along.
Absolutely.
True.
I definitely feel blessed that being a woman, I haven't really faced anything where I felt like there was some gender equality that like something problematic happened because of that. Like that's one thing I'm grateful for, that, you know, my gender didn't really play a role in anything like that here.
Of course. So I'm not really talking about you personally being affected.
Yes,
See, even
yes.
we are not talking about really personally
Yeah.
getting affected by anything. We're just wanting to understand, because
Of
I
course, yeah.
personally do not understand. Do you? Not yet,
No,
right?
not
Because
yet.
we're not in there yet.
Right,
I don't have kids, and yours is too young,
Mine is
right?
young.
So I guess we wouldn't know. You know, so
Right.
that's why I wanted to understand that what are these pressures. And in movies, you know, I see some scenes like that,
Right.
but you know, I can't connect, I cannot understand, because I don't really understand the fact yet, right?
Yeah,
So what is this pressure when you said that you know, everybody has to be perfect? So how, okay, let's just talk about what is perfect according to your generation.
Well, I guess, to me, I think it's depends
Not to you.
per
Talk to me about everybody.
In
Don't worry
general,
about it. Yeah, in general. Yeah. So what would you say is perfect in your world?
It's whoever is famous, everyone who's coming up on the news, on social media, celebrities, singers, just anyone who's, you know, up there. It's just everyone wants to be something like them. So the pressure, I mean, I guess in some ways it is good pressure, because you're able to see all these success stories and it makes you strive to become just like them, or, you know, around the same level of success. But I don't feel like that's very specific to my generation, because in every generation you find something and you
That's
want to
true.
be like that.
true.
Yeah, but I guess, you know, we didn't have pressure in terms of being perfect in so many things for whatever reason.
You just have to
Do you
get
think
our
so?
grades perfect.
Right. I mean, yeah, and for some, not even that, because when I came out of school, my dad said, "Oh, so your school must have had 100%, you know, result." So we're trying,
I guess, in this, I think what Sushma is talking about is everybody is looking at you to be a perfect combination of beauty and brains. You're going to do your master's, then you're going to go to dental school, but they still expect you to have good looks, a good body, present yourself well, be fashionista, be socially interactive.
Is that what it is?
So that's
maybe that's also expectations of just being a woman.
Absolutely.
Because before it would be just how you look, your presence. Look nice, be polite, always get along with everyone, but now it's, why can't you have a job a man has? So it's like, I guess in that way it's double the pressure, because you want to be a good example of a woman, and you want to do what a man can do or better.
Trust me, you will do a better job. And talking in those lines, as we were talking before the show, there was a study done in Harvard about the quality of care provided by male and female physicians, and what patients are choosing. And the study showed that more and more patients are choosing to go to a female physician, because the study showed women are more compassionate, they listen to their patients, they follow the guidelines more diligently, provide more preventive care medicine. So there is a big
this is something very interesting.
This is very interesting, right? But based on some personal stories, and not only from me, I've heard it from other female colleagues. When you are starting off as a physician, when you walk into a patient's room, sometimes when they see a female doctor, they don't think that you're a doctor automatically. Sometimes they will think that you are a nurse or an assistant to one of the other doctors. And we face this a lot. It depends how you carry yourself. If you just walk in, and a lot of patients will still say, oh, okay, you're the nurse.
So are you saying that there is actually discrimination for
Absolutely.
Indian women doctors?
Not only Indian. I think it's female. Universal. It's female physicians in general. And
wow.
And if you look at the other studies done, that there's a lot of hue and cry now about salaries for females,
of course.
whether it's in the corporate world,
Yes.
whether it's in the healthcare, and it's shown that females get paid less than males,
much less
throughout the
Yeah,
world, whether
yeah.
it's
Every
healthcare, whether
industry.
it's corporate. Why? So there is this discrimination. Definitely.
Totally.
Definitely.
So I'm still struggling to understand your world, and so very interested in it too, because you know what?
Different.
It's nice to
I
know. What are the differences. But okay, let's talk about you as an Indian. A child from Indian origin, okay, growing up completely abroad. Okay, so did you personally find any challenges in terms of being able to fit in?
Well, when I moved here originally, I moved to Edison, and that's a very diverse community. So actually anywhere in New Jersey, you just have a wide variety of people from all over the world. So more than struggle, I feel like I was exposed to a bunch of different cultures. I grew up doing classical dancing, and then that went into, I became president of the salsa club in my university. So from there,
blended in well.
So I feel like it was really nice growing up in an area with just a bunch of different cultures, because it was more for me to learn. I would meet people from all over the world every day, and they would teach me something new. So in that way, I think that it was refreshing.
Awesome.
Coming here to a melting pot kind of place.
That's awesome. And I would think any day Edison in USA is much better than India. We are so much more socially, culturally, very, very Indian.
I call it United States of India.
United States of India. You're so right about that.
This is United States of India.
Totally. But sometimes I see my friends' daughters, etc., your age, going for proms, and I see that a lot of people trying to say that at a prom you have to take somebody with you, right? It's important that everybody goes with somebody mostly.
That again is like a social pressure thing.
Pressure,
Are you
right?
cool?
Yes,
Like, all
exactly.
the-
Changing also, right? A lot of
Yeah,
people, just
you
a bunch
can-
of girls, they
yeah.
go together. right?
They do
That's
that.
changing too.
That is changing
I know
too.
it because I have
Yeah.
like nieces and stuff doing that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think the pressure was more before, right? That
Before,
you have
yeah.
to find a date to go with.
So
But
now it's not like that anymore?
I feel like it's more, it depends per person, but I feel like if you're comfortable in your skin and what you're doing, then the confidence comes from that more than, you know, if you are scared if other people think you're cool or.
I understand that. What I'm trying to ask here is that it's a culture thing, right? That you go to a prom with a
Right,
date,
date.
okay?
Yeah.
That's the whole beauty of it, right? I would have loved to do it if I was here. I
Never too late.
Never too late, I know, but I don't know if I can go to a prom. But what I'm saying is, you know, I find it extremely awesome, right? A fairy tale thing, you know, that wow, going to a prom, etc. Plan for that dress and that perfect
Yeah.
date that you're going with,
The
etc.
getting ready is the fun
Getting
part.
ready.
Fun part,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. And of course, the thing about going with a date, etc., is like so exciting. So what I'm saying is, being an Indian child, I do know my friends. A lot of them are not still very comfortable about it. You know, and I see a few of them. Though there is a date, they ensure, they tell us more than a couple of times that he's just a friend, and you know, she's just going with him. He's her best friend. Okay, it becomes very important to say that. Okay,
that's
and
true.
then for some people, I think it's not even possible. Right? And then I know some friends of mine, okay, rarely so, but I know a couple of friends. The way she discusses about, you know, her daughter's boyfriend, you know, at school, she knows somebody and she's more open to, you know, all that idea, and she's actually also participating in the whole process, like when her daughter's, you know, the date has to actually propose to her to take her to the prom,
Right.
and then there
Ask
is
her
a
out for the prom,
whole,
yeah.
you know, whole, what is it called? I don't know.
Promposal.
Prom proposal, right?
Prom
Proposal,
proposal
yeah,
is a
yeah.
huge thing apparently,
Yeah.
right? And this friend of mine, she's like, she was celebrating it with her daughter, and
Wow.
I found it extremely amazing.
Right.
You know,
Wow,
she
that's
wanted to be a part of the whole story, and she wanted her daughter to have that kind of, you know, dream that she always had, and seeing her fulfill it, etc. But I've seen very few people like that. Maybe just a couple like that, and the rest of them, okay, there were some in the middle where they would just say that, oh, no, he's just a friend. Why I'm asking you this is not to put anybody down or put anybody up here, okay? The whole idea is to be able to talk about things that we don't usually talk about, just so that knowledge, I believe that knowledge is power.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
when you have the knowledge, you can decide what you want to do, what you want to like or what you do not want to like. But if you don't even know about it, you're left nowhere. So I guess that's why I am trying to, don't mean to probe or something, okay? What I'm trying to do is just be able to get some kind of information that possibly could help people, you know, get a perspective. Now, one thing that you said was so sweet. You said that it doesn't matter what other people think. If you are, you know, confident in your skin, that is the most important thing
Happiness.
for anybody.
Happiness.
And confidence, right? And confidence,
Absolutely.
right? You just walk like $1,000,000. That's about it. It doesn't matter who thinks what you are,
Exactly.
okay? And I'm a total believer of that. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you that. So, is there, you must have met friends that were in a situation like that, or you know, you thought that I would like to do that. Not that you're dying to do it, but I could like to do that, but maybe I shouldn't because it wouldn't really be okay with my family, kind of a stuff, right? So would you have things like that is what I'm trying to ask you.
My family is definitely supportive. They try to understand
I
like the
know.
American culture.
Yes.
You know,
yeah,
the
I
differences.
know.
So,
By the way, doctor, I have known her when she was a baby in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Long
so I've known her at
time.
that time, okay? It's such a pleasure.
So you've seen her grow through the years,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, most of my guests here so far in the show are all people that I know around me. Like I know you from the gym.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm trying to want to bring in friends from in and around me to, you know, talk about things that we otherwise wouldn't talk. And then when we come together, different people, okay, and put something up there, I think, well, this could be so informative,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, so you tell me, but did you ever come across that? No, because of your parents, they were pretty open and
Yeah, so for me, I went with my good friend.
Yeah.
And
he was really a good friend.
yeah, he was just my friend, yeah.
Yes.
So, of course, I knew, like, when it came time to tell my mom I'm going with my friend, but he's a boy, it's like, they don't have prom like that in India, and they don't,
Yes.
that's more, it's such an American tradition, so it's, everything is new. So, of course, if your child tells you, they're like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I need to know. So then, of course, all my mom's friends with some of my friends' parents too. So then they all started talking, and it was like, okay, all of our children have dates, right, of the other gender.
So it's okay.
So what is it? So I think that was more of them discussing, like, is this normal? All of that stuff, and it's more fun, I think, because now you have someone to match with you. Like I said, the best part about prom, I think, is like getting ready, finding a dress, that whole like process, the months before the actual event.
That's the fun part.
Yes.
So for that, promposals, those are always so fun in school, because for like between like 4 to 5 months, you just have people doing crazy things like you see in Indian movies and stuff like that. They'll just go all out. They do flash mobs. You'll get out of school, go outside, and then it's someone's turn to have a promposal. So music will start playing, one kid will start dancing, then 4, 5, 30.
Very nice.
So I think in a way, more than like, obviously the first thing parents would think of is a boy, this and that, but more than that, it's like the whole fun of like the adventure, yes, all that stuff. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think there are a lot of traditions in America that are really fun. Right, if you actually take them just as a tradition of theirs, you know, they're so beautiful.
I think you
so
still
much
have time
fun.
for proposal. You can still
I
go for
definitely
it.
look like I want to. I know. Tell me
That's
about
what
it.
What is it? I know, right? It's never too late.
It's
Doesn't
never too late.
matter,
You're so
right?
right
You can
about
still
it.
go with a good friend.
Absolutely.
Good friend. Just a friend.
Just a friend. All right. Okay. So this was really nice. Okay. I think all I wanted to learn was, you know, about us is one thing. You know, about this other generation is another thing, okay? And I plan to bring in more and more girls your age, you know, with different, come with their different perspective, help us understand what they're doing, how they're doing, and if they had challenges, how they are facing them. Because it's okay, challenges will be there. That's life. Right, that's life, okay? Whether you're in India, whether you're in America, you could be anywhere in the world, and you will have challenges. So that's no big deal. How you deal with it, okay? And I think in your own way, you said it, that if you were comfortable in your own skin and you're confident about yourself, then you don't really want to bother about what other people think. Is a great way of, you know, fighting challenges that you do not want to really get involved in, right? Perfect, beautiful. Okay, so is there anything that you would like to say to friends out there, or you know, generally to all these women that must be listening to us, about anything at all that you would want to share with everybody out there that you think is important to you?
I guess just break the ceiling. Just, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, you can do anything you want in the world. Anything you put your heart to, it's achievable.
Awesome. Very, very, very nice. All right. So now you tell me, Doctor, do you want to share something with all the friends out there?
Yes.
Any message?
Again, you know, I've been saying this all through the show, is learn to love yourself, be happy, spend time on yourself, get your me time, and no regrets. And as she said, you know, break the ceiling, go for it, you can do it.
Wow, that was beautiful, Doctor. Thank you extremely. Okay, once again, thank you so much, Sushma, and thank you everybody out there for joining us on UVW from ManaTV. Now, once we should say thank you for joining us on you. Can you do that with me? You,
okay.
We, W. Yes.
VW, okay.
Yes,
I got
that's UVW, United Voice of Women. Thank you so much, everybody there, to to be, my friends here on ManaTV and joining me on every episode every Sunday. I want to see you next Sunday once again. And till then, you take care, be good, and just remember that at UVW, what we want to do is together, let us encourage and empower and lift and strengthen one another. And keep smiling.